This means a double helping of F1 action with me in the commentary box once again, back where I belong after some dreadful DNFs last Wednesday. Stick to commentary from now on, Blobby. And we are at Baku for this DRS race. And off to Monza this evening for Blobby Mondays at 10. Just eating some sweets. 16 in the lobby. Let's see who's missing today. Joker is missing. Swanton still without a teammate at the moment, I think. A couple of others as well. One of my favourite tracks on the calendar, this one. When I'm not driving, that is. And we've lost Sloth. So while I'm not doing anything, let's try and get him back. And we see it's Marvsky first out on the track. Followed by the two Ferraris of EasyJet, Easy Life and Colin. Good evening to Cam in the chat. And hello to Bazza as well. Speaking of street circuits, I'm off on a day trip to Monaco on Friday, so I will post some pictures in Discord as I do the little F1 tourist bit. We'll stay with Marvsky here, as he's going to be the first one off on a hot lap. Apologies folks, just replying to a work message. Marvsky then going to be setting the benchmark here in Baku. A few more of them on their way now as well. So much better to go flat through that final sector onto the main straight than it was in 2022, where It was quite easy to hit the wall on DNF there, and it's a 139.7 for Marvsky and a 141.6 for Easy Life. Colin is the next one, and he has done an invalid lap, I believe. Off is Swanton in the runoff area. I'm not sure if he had a bit of an accident there or was just getting out of the way, but he was definitely in the runoff area. Max has gone quickest with a 139.0. And the Aston Martins to the line. Smug 140.7. Saintsy 140.7. And now Syme ahead of them 140.5. Somebody on the pit exit. Senna a 139.9 P3. Third driver to break the 140 barrier. We haven't got anyone stuck on the pit barrier. It's just where they are sitting in the garage. Pickle goes a 143. Pops Cog a 144. 50 Jet 142.5. Is that Nico behind? Yes, it is. 141.4 for him. And P7. A wide spread of times so far. Colin now on his way and into second. 139.7 for Colin. And that is P2. Now Newt begins his lap. Swanton is out there as well. With Sloth and King Kong yet to join us in terms of on the track. I don't know if Sloth got back into the lobby, but I did send him an invite. Still plenty of time left, 11 minutes or so in the qualifying session. Remarkable bravery needed through that castle section. Got to get very near the wall to stay as quick as you can through that. And just a little mistake can lead to bits of car flying everywhere and a red flag or safety car situation. 4 of them under 140 at the moment. With Mr. Pickle now in 5th. What can Swanton do? Second place, 139.5. And now 5 drivers within that 139. Newty goes to the back with a 144.9. Almost 6 seconds off the pole time of Max. Smug's out there trying to improve. He's not got his DRS on yet. He has now. And he does a 140.5 and stays in 8th place. Slight improvement for him. Pickle crawling back round to the pits, as I think will Swanton. Newty improving. See how he is through Sector 2, with Sector 3 being mainly just a big straight. He is flying. He's going to be up the table here. Looking at around about 10th place, 9th perhaps. Caution in Sector 1 as Sloth has rejoined. I think that's one of the Red Bulls has gone straight on at turn 1. And Al does go to P9 with a 140.6. That is Senna, who went off in the same place that Swanton did earlier on. That's why we saw yellow flags. Max Wild is out once again. And is improving. Is he going to break the 139 barrier? He's in a class of his own at the moment. Half a second clear of Swanton. With the chasing pack left in his wake. King Kong now on the board with a 140.3 and up to P6. Sloth, I saw, has rejoined the session, so he'll be getting out there shortly. In fact, I think that's his car coming out now. Max is almost half a second up on his own time here. And Sloth's out. Has he binned it? I think he might have binned it. We're going to stay with Max as this is going to be the pole time. 138.6. Not sure what happened to Sloth, but he came out of the pits and it appears that he binned it. Maybe if he's listening, he can let me know in chat. But he'll start at the back. Will the Sloth, the sole V-Carb representative of today. Here is Marvsky slightly improving through Sector 1. Max in a class of his own so far today. Can anyone get anywhere near him in qualifying? The race, of course, a whole different ball game with strategies and safety car possibilities and the potential for accidents. But in qualifying so far, Max seems to have everybody's number. Let's see what Marvsky can do though as he comes onto the straight. He is pitting. Here comes Senna. And Senna goes P4, 139.7 ahead of Marvsky. Three of them there in the 139.7s. Pickles back out there and improving. Four minutes now remaining, so expect a mass exodus from the pit shortly. Let's see what Mr. Pickle can do here. And he is going back in. So Pickle goes back in. Nico is second down on his time. That means I've got not a lot of people left out there to watch. Here's Swanton. Swanson up through sector 1 by a good couple of tenths. Currently on the front row, but needs to find almost a second to get to Max Wild, who is coming back out for another go as well. Not yet satisfied with his work. Swanson completing sector 2 is still up by now nearly 0.4 of a second. And this could be well the lap that keeps him on the front row of the grid in the Haas. With a couple of minutes left in the session, Swanson hits the line. 1:39.0. He's made half a second. He's still 0.4 off of Max, but he's now got a 7/10 buffer on the chasing pack. Smug, a 1:39.8, goes up to P6 and becomes the 6th driver to break 1:40. Max begins his lap now. Those who are in the pits have got to get a move on. Senna has done enough. He is currently in P4. Some of them on outlaps have got to get a wriggle on, I feel. With a minute and 15 left on the clock. Max is tearing time off again. Where is he finding it? Another 0.4 through sector 1. We're going to stay with him here because so close to taking himself out on the wall there, but that's what you've got to do to get the pace around here. Max is going to, in fact this time he didn't make any time through sector 2. Swanson's back in the pit, so he's not going to have another go. A couple of them aren't going to make it, I don't think, on outlaps. 50 gent starts. Max to the line, 1:38.5. Checkered flag flies. Ruznico missed it and had invalidated, but didn't get round quickly enough. So next will be Mr. Pickle. No, apologies, it will be the other Mercedes of Syme. It's Syme, then on the Ferrari. Syme was a couple of tenths down. Colin up on his time, but it's Easy Life ahead. Syme to the line and improves to P8. Easy Life into the pit box. Colin. Crosses the line, 1:39.4. P3 at the moment. Will it hold? Here's Pickle. Pickle with a 40.2 up to P7. Next are the Kicks Albers. Marvsky and Al Newt. Smug also behind them. And 50 gent. Marvsky. 1:39.3. P3. Al Newt. What a lap. 1:39.7 by Al Newt. 1:39.6 for Smug. Al Newt's gone to P7. Smug to P5. And 50 gent does not improve. King Kong is miles down and just cruising around to the pit lane. And so is Max. So that is that. So it's going to be Max from Swanton, Marsky from Colin, Smug and Senna, Al Newt. Just 7 of them breaking 1 minute 40, and Al Newt made it there. A cracking late effort from the Kick Sauber boys. Bit of slipstreaming as well for Al, I think. Excellently done. Marsky 3rd, Al Newt 7th. Mr. Pickle is 8th from King Kong. Then the Mercedes pairing of Syme and Nico. Syme in amongst the championship battle, but just struggling to find the pace in the last couple of weeks. Down there in P10, Rouge Nico in 11th after that epic Pro-Am win last week. And Saint C in P12 from Easy Life and 50 Gent. Pops Kong and Sloth, who did not set a time. Had a disconnection issue and then came back in and immediately found a wall. I will take you through the championship standings as we have a pause and then tyre choices on the formation lap ahead of this race, which I think is 26 laps. Do let us know in the chat who you think's going to come out on top. Is Max's dominance going to continue from qualifying? Or who's the surprise package? Let's find out shortly. But first, let's go to the championship standings, which I will find on here. Someone's left me a message. Just reply to that. Now, where were we? We were looking for championship standings. Here we are. The Drivers' Championship sees Maxwell with a 17-point lead on Marvsky. It's now a big gap to Swanton, Syme, Senna, Pickle and Colin, who are all in the 60s. Joker behind them. In the Pro, it's a similar sized gap for Max over Marvsky. Then slightly less of a gap to Swanton, Syme, Pickle, Senna and Colin, with Joker also with them. The Pro-Am sees 50 Gent lead the way from King Kong. Al Newt and Saincy are tied 3rd. Then a big gap back to Rouge Nico, who got his first win last week. That means the team standings. Kick Sauber top the pile with a 10-point gap to Red Bull. The chasing pack are led by Williams. It's Mercedes, McLaren and Aston Martin. Alpine and VCarb chasing Ferrari and Haas, trying to avoid that bottom spot. Of course, Swanton solo carrying the Haas at the moment, and VCarb solely represented today by Sloth, who will start at the back of the grid. That brings you right up to date with the championship standings. This season finishes by Christmas. Blobby Mondays runs through to a couple in January. As we await the drivers sorting their fuel loads, someone give me the weather forecast if you have it. Rain here can really prove difficult. Here we are on the formation lap. For some reason a yellow flag, but a nice mix of opinions then. With Max in top spot, going for the soft tyre. Swanton next to him on the front row, going for the medium. Both of row 2, Marvsky and Colin, are on the hard tyre. Row 3, Smug and Senna both on mediums. Our Newt also. Mr. Pickle is on softs with King Kong.
King Kong carrying Williams.
King Kong carrying Williams today. Yep, Joker absent today. Pickle, the only Alpine. Syme and Nico next. Both on the medium tyre. Saintsy goes soft. The back 4, Easy Life, 50 Gen, Pops, Kong and Sloth, all on the medium compound. Max has gone quite a bit ahead here, so he might need to slow it up a bit. The backmarkers, including his teammate Pops Kong, are just winding their way into sector 3, and Max is already heading past the pit lane and towards the grid. So he will need to slow it right down in front. I will hope for not a long angle from the back, but I think that's what it's going to give me. Max is qualified for his parking.
Go for safety car lap 7.
Joker predicts a safety car lap 7. Very possible. Could be earlier than that. Pickle also disqualified for his parking. Camera angle is terrible. Pops Kong also. Camera angle is terrible, so we're going to go on board with Swanton for the start. And away they go. And Max got away quite well, and we'll get to turn 1 first. Swanton then and Smug again making up places from the start. The man is a genius off the start line. Big dive by Saintsy. And I think he's got some damage from it, possibly. He's in amongst the Mercedes now. 50 Gent is in there as well. And contact there between Saintsy and 50 Gent. It cost 50 a place or two. But everyone has made it through that sector without too much skirmishing. Certainly doesn't look to be any pieces of car missing at the moment as they come through the castle, the midfield. Already Max has got away by over a second to Swanton. Marvsky is third. Smug made a position up off the start, or maybe 2. Colin is 5th from Senna. Then Mr. Pickle, who has gone ahead of our Newt.
Driving like Stroll.
King Kong pursuing our Newt. Where are the overtakes going to come? Once the DRS opens, it'll be down this main straight. There goes King Kong though. He's already having a look and getting past our Newt. And of course that is the Pro-Am lead on the line there. Smug and Colin side by side. And now Senna up the inside of Colin. And Colin takes that place back. As they all shoot down this shorter straight. And everybody continues okay at the moment. Foxconn has dropped to the rear. Senna making a move past Colin. Pickle and King Kong, look, those two in behind on the soft tyre. Trying to get past while they can. Colin, got to wait for those hard tyres to really get going. Take a couple of laps for them to warm up. And he's got soft tyre runners trying to swallow him up at the moment. Mr. Pickle and King Kong. And it's Al Newt from Syme. Saints, he's found his place between the two Mercedes now. Somebody's broken something there. I saw a bit of somebody's front wing come off. Not sure who it was. And too quickly to see from this angle. It may be Mr. Pickle. We'll keep an eye on him. Max sets the fastest lap of the race. Collins going inside on Senna. Pickle looking for a dive perhaps. And maybe a bit more front wing coming off there. Easy Life making the move on Sloth around his outside. I'm thinking it was Mr. Pickle who got damage. Indeed, he has a broken end plate of his front wing, as you see there on the close-up. So that will not do his early pace any good at all. Max already 3 seconds from Swanton, who's got a decent lead of nearing 2 seconds to Mavsky. Colin still being pursued by a big train of cars. That is led by Senna. Senna, is he near enough this time to try and get to Colin? I think Colin has closed enough to Smug that he will get DRS to defend with. But Senna is closing in. Further back down the road, Al Newt has passed King Kong in the battle for the Pro-Am lead. Syme trying to get to Saintsy, who passed him. Nico holds 50 Gent at bay. And Sloth, who's got back past Easy Life momentarily. And now Collins lost a couple of places. Senna and Mr. Pickle getting past Colin. And the hard tyre's really not quite warming up for him. And Mr. Pickle contact there with Senna, almost pushed him into the castle section. He's already got a bit of a broken wing as Syme gets past Saintsy. Back into the top 10. Needs to go higher, much higher than that Syme if he is to continue a championship challenge. Al Newt now on the case of Colin, who struggle for pace on these hard tyres. He's hoping it will come to him later on, of course, with a longer opening stint. Newty looks left, looks right. Which way is he going to go? He goes to the outside. Colin has DRS to defend. Now looks to dive to the inside. Can't make it happen. Saintsy passing Syme once again. Syme having a look straight away to try and reclaim that position. Followed by his teammate Rouge Nico. Syme again battling with Saintsy and will retake P10 around the outside. Nice battle this, and Nico will hope to try and get involved in it. He's just behind Saintsy, as you can see. Pickle with the first track limit penalty of the race. Always seems to be a factor of Mr. Pickle's races, these track limit penalties. Unfortunately for him, Swanton has now closed the gap a little to Max and has opened up a bigger gap to Marvsky. Smug is now pursued by Senna. Colin maybe getting a run at Mr. Pickle. Our Newt right in behind as well. And Colin goes through. Mr. Pickle is into the pit lane. So we saw he had that broken front wing. Nico now going for Syme. Nico passing his teammate. Good move by Rouge Nico, passing Saintsy and Syme there. Bit of a wobble from Syme. Could that invite pressure from Saintsy? No, it's going to be Syme going around the outside of Nico. And Nico parks it on the apex to stop Saintsy following Syme through. Pickle rejoins at the very back of the field. And it looks like a two-stopper for him now. And a new front wing as well. Senna has managed to get past Smug now. Missed that amongst all the confusion elsewhere. And is now getting after Marvsky. Colin seems to have held off our Newt for now. Around about a second gap. With King Kong dropping away from them. Syme now ahead of Rouge Nico, both ahead of Saintsy. He's got 50 Gent to chase him. Bit of debris flew off there from somewhere. 50 might look for the move on Saintsy here. And indeed he does. 50 Gent up into P11. Colin has made a move past Smug into P5. The hard tyres finally starting up for him. And Smug drops back to where he started. All 16 of them running cleanly. We're on lap 7 of 26. Mr. Pickle with the only penalty and had some wing damage to fix. Swanson closing the gap on Max, who maybe didn't choose the right tyre. Softs seemingly struggling a bit, with Kong dropping well away from Al Newt now, and Saintsy dropping back through the field. Maybe they weren't quite as durable. Swanson is closing that gap to Max Rose. Sloth homing in now on Saintsy. And Sloth should get this one done when the DRS opens. As the outside into the pits comes King Kong and now Saintsy. So we were saying the soft tyre was not lasting as well as maybe the soft runners thought. And they have now both boxed for hards, King Kong and Saintsy. Saintsy will rejoin in last. King Kong just ahead of Pops. Max keeping the gap at 2 seconds. Senna holding off Colin now, whose hard tyres have come to life. He got past Smug, who's now chased by Al Newt. Mercedes pair up well behind, as is 50 Gent, and Sloth on the charge, now up to P11. Lap 8 of 26. Everyone run out. Syme's off. Syme is off. And into the barrier. And loses a few places. Al Newt is passing Smug because Smug is on his way to the pits. And Colin has passed Senna. So Colin back into P4. Gap to the lead now just 1.7. Smug. It's an awful long stop for Smug. And he is rejoining in P12 just ahead of Mr. Pickle. And now out is 50 Gent. We got a safety car. 50 Gent is out of the race. There is his Red Bull facing backwards in the wall. 50 Gent out of the race. The Pro-Am Championship leader. And we've got a safety car, and that really doesn't help those who have already boxed. Joker's prediction just a couple of laps out. It's a full course safety car. It's delight for Max World, who had Swanton closing in on him and will now get the free pit stop. And it's bad news for the hard runners, whose tyres was just starting to come into play, Marski and Colin. One would assume everybody will pit now. Max certainly does. Swanson does. Marvsky does. Colin does.
Good evening.
Good evening to Stacey in the chat. Al Newt's going to be in trouble here with a double stack. Nico is in. Sloth is in. Syme's going to be in trouble with a double stack as well. Easy Life should be far enough back to get away with a double stack. Smug has obviously stayed out because he boxed on the previous lap and has got his way up to 6th. He's ahead of Al Newt and behind Senna. Saintsy also stays out, but everybody else did box. Syme got the worst of the double stack. He's down in 13th now. Pickle has boxed once again. And there is Pops Kong exiting the pit. So the order then on lap 10 behind the safety car is Maxwell in the lead on brand new medium tyres. Swanton in second is now on hards. Marvsky then Colin on mediums. And everybody else except Mr. Pickle is on the hard tyre. Fifth is Senna, sixth is Smug. Al Newt continues to lead the Pro-Am race from King Kong. Rouge Nico and Saintsy, then Easy Life, Sloth, Slime, Mr. Pickle and Pops Kong. 15 of them out of the 16 who began the race. The 50 Gent, the unfortunate one to end in the wall. Don't forget, Derby Mondays in Monza shortly after this race at about 10 PM start. Just awaiting Pops Kong catching the back of the field, so we'll have another lap of safety car. Field bookended by the McLarens at the moment. Swanton, of course, Mr. Consistent with his record of one DNF in about 1 million races. At the moment, looking good to keep the pressure on Max. Marvsky also right up there. So far today, Max has been out there on his own, and Pops Kong has got a drive through. There's a drive through penalty for the McLaren. Not this McLaren, who has handled everything Baku has thrown at him so far. And will now direct a safety car restart very shortly. Should be away this lap, and is. So Max has got the freedom of the straight to pace the field. Does look quite grey in the clouds overhead, not ruling out rain here. Max will leave it as long as he can. The safety car is now in the pit lane, so it's just going to try and catch them unawares here. And we'll start lap 12 racing once again. Not even halfway through yet. He's left it very late indeed as Max. And Marvsky has taken advantage and got Swanton. Rouge Nico making a move on King Kong further back. Smug having a look. King Kong and Rouge Nico side by side. Pops Kong in the pits to serve his drive through. Side making a move past Sloth there up the inside. There's Nico and King Kong very close together. And again. Newt close to the back of Smug. Senna trying to close on Colin once again. Roles reversed in terms of tyres. Here is Syme, who's got Sloth and Pickle behind him. Easy Life ahead of him. Nico now might try and make a move for the Pro-Am lead on Al Newt. DRS re-enabled. Easy Life having a look. Mr. Pickle making a move, and somebody's lost some bit of car there. And that was Easy Life. Easy Life's broken his front wing. Mr. Pickle's past Sloth. A bit of Easy Life's wing that we saw come flying off. I think Pickle has also broken his, unless he didn't fix it last time. Sloth appears to be intact. Max has done it again, quickly getting away with a bit of a gap. Couple of seconds now to Marvsky. Syme closing up very close to Saintsy now. Colin and Senna trying to get past Swanton. They just got caught out a little on the restart by Max leaving it so late, and now passes are being made. Colin ahead of Swanton. Al Newt ahead of Smug. And now off in the pits is Saintsy. Thought he was off for a second, but it's just a pit stop. Pickle going into top 10 now ahead of Syme. Saintsy drops to the rear of the field. Colin into third ahead of Swanton, with Senna right in there behind them. And now Newt, who's holding up Smug, Smug, King Kong and Rouge Nico. With Pickle, Syme, Sloth and Easy Life trying to get onto the back of this group. Through the castle they come once again. Swanton getting close up ahead. A very brave man to make a dive into that particular corner with the bouncy curb and the wall on the outside. But down the straight he might just have enough here. He's got bundles of speed compared to Colin here. He's almost pushing him along. Senna's going to join the party, I think. Colin going to make the move. Senna trying to follow. Swanton trying to be late on the brakes. Does so. Contact with Senna. No harm done on that occasion. Kong trying to get up the inside of Smug. Lap 15. 15 still going. Swanton, Senna trying to chase down Colin. Al Newt now ahead of Smug in P6. What a great race he's having. Smug is 7th from King Kong. Rouge Nico, Mr. Pickle. Syme and Sloth both outside the top 10. Now 50's left, that's okay. Swanton closes on Colin. Swanton goes to the outside and gets it. Mr. Pickle around the outside of Rouge Nico. And now Nico lets Syme go as well. Good bit of teamwork that from Rouge Nico, I think. Senna and Colin still right behind Swanton. There's Al Newt trying to shake off Smug, who's got Mr. Pickle, King Kong, Syme and Rouge Nico all right there behind him. Max, we've hardly spoken about. He leads by 4 seconds from Marvsky, who nipped in ahead of Swanton on the restart. Swanton is in 3rd place, but is still pursued by Colin and Senna. Saintsy has passed Pops Kong. And Colin now past Swanton. Smug having a look at Al Newt, thinks better of it. Swanton retakes the position on Colin. Good battle this is turning into. Swanton, Colin and Senna just behind looking for any mistakes. In fact, Senna very much closer this time. On board with Senna as they come to the castle. Senna maybe just caught the inside wall there. People certainly not staying within the track limits. He's now got 2 penalties of 3 seconds. Nobody else yet has got a single time penalty. Foxconn did serve his drive-through. Syme trying to get involved with Mr. Pickle and King Kong and Smug and Al Newt. Colin making the move again on Swanton. Really good battle for the podium places. Smug goes up the inside of Al Newt, leaves him room. We'll have to go again into turn 2. Cannot. Close between those two, but Smug being closed out could invite King Kong to join in. Syme is still there in 10th. Behind Pickle. I know Pickle's got penalties, but Syme would love to clear him so they can have a go at the two in front. The gap for Max now 5.5 seconds. And Marvsky has similar to Colin, who is battling hard with Swanson and Senna. Syme now with a penalty. That is not going to do him any favours. So far, the one getting favours from this, Ruzhniko, or maybe Sloth, will be catapulted into the top 10. King Kong now making a move on Smug. Smug holds him off. Has Pickle got it? Yes, he has. Mr. Pickle up to P7. King Kong P8. Smug P9. Syme P10. Smug into the pit. Into the pit lane comes Smug. And out comes Smug. Bit of a lock up from Max as we come to him. Swanson and Senna still really close to Colin in front in the Ferrari. Into the pits again is Pops Kong. For a new front wing. A set of soft tyres. That 7 laps was their shelf life earlier on, so they should be fine to get to the end for it. Max, Marvsky, Colin, the order. Swanson and Senna trying to dispute that though with Colin. Big gap to Al Newt as Colin retakes 3rd place. Senna with DRS looking for a way to get involved but can't. Sloth making a move on Ruzhniko. And Kong and Mr. Pickle side by side into turn 1. Pickle gave Kong a real squeeze there, and Syme said thanks very much and took P8 from King Kong. Maybe a bit naughty from Mr. Pickle, that one. Can Colin and Senna get to Swanson? Are the mediums going to last to the end of the race? Questions still to be answered as we're on lap 20. Syme now having a look at Mr. Pickle. Kong out of the way. Kong's got Sloth and Ruzhniko behind her. Easy life in 12. Smug after pitting is now in 13th, just ahead of his teammate Saintsy. Pops Kong at the rear has boxed a couple of times as well. Sloth in the top 10 for the back of the grid. Can he make any more moves? Who is going to be close enough this time? They've got DRS behind Mr. Pickle. Here they come. Sloth is side by side with King Kong. Kong's gone really deep into turn one and has lost the place to Sloth. Syme couldn't find a way by Mr. Pickle. Sloth up to P9. Ruzhniko still involved as well there. It's a really good battle in the lower midfield today. It's also still a really good battle for third place with Swanton leading Colin and Senna. I think Pickle's strategy at this stage is hope they crash behind, because at the moment he's going to lose 4 places with these penalties. Is Colin close enough to retake that P3 from Swanton? Didn't open his DRS for some reason. Senna certainly did and is right with them. Sloth looking for a move on Syme this time. Max is now 10 seconds clear of Marvsky. Yellow in sector 1, and that is for Senna. Senna was right with Colin and Swanton. He isn't anymore. He's dropped 3 seconds back. It's not going to affect him as far as our Newt is concerned, who's running in 6th place, followed by Pickle, Syme, Sloth, and King Kong and Ruzhniko. Our Newt, a terrific drive so far in P6 and comfortable in the Pro-Am. 3 pros between him and nearest rival King Kong. Of course, the Pro-Am Championship leader 50 Gent, the only DNF so far, as Max sets the fastest lap of the race. And he is nearing another perfect evening's work as he laps his teammate Pops Kong. Sloth trying to get to Syme now. Sloth still closing. Wants to have a look up the inside, but runs out of straight. Syme can defend using the DRS that he's getting from Mr. Pickle. Those penalties are going to prove costly for both Mr. Pickle and Syme. Not sure what happened to Senna, but he's trying to close back up to Colin and Swanton. Colin's tyres maybe feeling it a little bit now. Max is already away and starting at lap 24 of 26. Syme going for a slipstream this time on Mr. Pickle. Gets him round the outside. Sloth's going to try and follow through. Couldn't do it on that occasion. Smug has made a pass on Easy Life. Way ahead of turn 1. And it's 3 laps to go. 2 more at the end of this one. And Max seems to have it in the bag. Don't want to commentators curse him again. But barring something silly, Max is going to win another DRS race. Here in Baku, Mr. Pickle, Sloth and King Kong all trying to get to Syme, who's trying to get away from them all. Smug now ahead of Easy Life, but needs some rocket fuel if he's going to get to the back of this train. You can see the castle in the background. Caution is set to 1, I think was for Pops, just letting somebody through. Colin will not give up despite the tirade. Mr. Pickle now going past Syme. Sloth becoming increasingly desperate to try and join him. King Kong still in the hunt. Nico needs a mistake from somebody. Syme retaking Pickle. Side by side. Sainsy's in the pits again. Still side by side go Pickle and Syme. Good room left by both. Saintsy in the pits then. Max got a 15-second gap now as he comes to start the last lap. Marvsky, very respectable P2 for him. Clear of Swanson, who's closed that gap to him in fairness. Is Colin going to get one more opportunity? Gets the DRS open. Can he make the move on Colin for this podium place? Not into turn 1 for the last time. He cannot. Here they come. Syme, Pickle, Sloth, King Kong. No moves going. Easy Life trying to cling onto the back of Smug. Max through the castle for the last time. This is still a thrilling battle. Pickle and Syme especially. But the other two cannot be discounted. Max, in a world of his own, is rounding into the final sector. Come through the castle for the final time this battle. We're going to go to Max momentarily as he hits the straight, because it's another perfect weekend for Max. Pole position, fastest lap, and the victory is Real Maxwell. Takes the win for McLaren. Swanson has really closed on Marvsky in this final lap. Marvsky's tyres must be struggling, unless he's run out of fuel, but he's going to have done enough. And Marvsky comes home in P2 from Swanson. Colin in 4th. Senna finishes in 5th. Al Newt, what a drive from him for the Pro-Am victory for Kick Sauber. Al Newt wins in P6. Syme, did he get away? No, he didn't. Sloth made it to the line ahead of King Kong to take P7. King Kong in P8 and P2 of the Pro-Am. Syme in 9 after a penalty. Rouge Nico 10 and P3 in the Pro-Am. With Mr. Pickle dropping a few places because of penalty, down and out of the top 10. Smug finishes in 12th place. Easy Life in 13th. Saint C will be in 14th. And Pops Kong was a lap down in 15th. The only DNF of the race was 50 Gent. As we watch Saint C cross the line. There you have it, folks. I'll log a watch on. Sloth, the driver of the day, starting from the back and getting up to, was it P7 in the end? I am back in about half an hour's time, just over. And then that'll be time for Blobby Mondays at Monza. DRS, folks, if you fancy a go, do let me know. Max then with the king of the road once again, pole, fastest lap and victory. Marsky in 2nd, Swanton in 3rd, chased him down but didn't quite get there. Colin had some good battles, he finished where he started in 4th. Senna was 5th, Al Newt the Pro-Am winner in 6th. Sloth in 7 from the back, King Kong in 8th and 2nd of the Pro-Am. Then the Mercedes pairing of Syme and Rouge Nico on the podium again in the Pro-Ams in 10th. And it was Mr. Pickle, Smug, Easy Life, Saint C, Pops Kong with 50 Gent, your DNFer. Join me again next Monday for more DRS at 8 PM. But I'll be back in 45 minutes or even less for Blobby Mondays at Monza. Until then, thank you very much.